Yo, what the hell's up, everyone? Welcome back to Reviews with Jake, where I just got done watching Big Time Adolescence on Hulu. Big Time Adolescence is about a 16-year-old kid who befriends his older sister's ex-boyfriend, who's a bit of a deadbeat, played by Pete Davidson. He sort of assumes the role of the older brother and starts to show the kid the ins and outs of growing up right, or at least according to him. Like a lot of people, I enjoy the coming-of-age movie just because there's just something endearing about watching someone learn all the lessons that we had to learn growing up, mostly the hard way. They make it really easy for us to associate with the characters involved in these scenarios because, well, we've been there before. However, I do think that it's a genre that more often than not misses the mark on bringing something original, like a new perspective to this oversaturated genre. We've just all seen the same formula used over and over, the same storyline, the same plots regurgitated over and over and over. It's just rare to see a film that rises above the rest of them. And there's been some really damn good ones lately. Mid-90s, Booksmart last year, that was in my top 5. You could even say the new Spider-Man movies that have come out recently are kind of coming-of-age movies too. I mean, it's not a stretch to say that. And this one, upon watching the trailer, I gotta say it looked promising. I was excited to watch it. The pros start at the top. I gotta give the director some praise. Jason Orley, I believe I'm pronouncing his name correctly. I checked out his IMDb, and from what I could tell, it looks like this is his directorial debut, and I gotta say, he did well. This is a well-helmed film. He also wrote the film and told a pretty compelling story, and for it being his first film, I gotta give him props for that. It's a damn good start to a career. First off, the dialogue was really well written. I mean, even when they were just sitting there BSing, talking about things that had nothing to do with the plot whatsoever, it's those exchanges that make the film feel that much more authentic, and the relationships between them. It just genuinely feels like you are just in the day in the life of these people. There's nothing out of the ordinary, nothing manufactured. This is just their relationship. And it's that strong writing that really drives home the big brother dynamic between these two characters. I mean, you genuinely feel it and you watch it evolve as the movie progresses. And that's largely attributed to great writing and some great performances. There were 3 of them in particular that were fantastic. Griffin Gluck, who plays the 16-year-old kid who's just trying to figure out life and sort through all the chaos of growing up. John Cryer, who plays his dad, who you can just tell is just a dad that's trying to not overstep his boundary but genuinely cares about his son and is worried about him hanging out with our third character, who's played by Pete Davidson, and did a fantastic job. I think a lot of people would probably say that Pete Davidson was just kind of playing a version of himself, so not really pulling any muscles with his performance, but I gotta say, this was a complicated character. He does a lot more than just be Pete Davidson. There are a lot of moments in this film where it calls for him to bring his A-game acting, and he does. I mean, I'm not even the biggest Pete Davidson fan, but I gotta say, he did a fine job here. This is just another good coming-of-age movie of a kid just sorting through life, trying to figure out what's what, who to trust, what's good, what's bad, what's right, what's wrong. Speaking of wrong, brings me right to the cons, and I gotta say, I don't really have much for definitive cons. It's mostly just a couple of things that I felt like they didn't really hit high enough to hit that top tier of movies, if that makes any sense. Like, they weren't wrong, they just weren't that strong. Totally didn't mean to rhyme there. Cool. The first thing was that this wasn't really anything original or groundbreaking. I mean, we've seen some version of this story and a lot of the events that happen and the scenarios that you see. You've genuinely seen most of them before, so there wasn't really anything new here that really felt original. It also doesn't hit on a lot of the emotional levels that you really want when you're looking at this story. I mean, it covers a lot of really heavy stuff, and you feel like you should feel it a little bit more, and you do feel some, but you just kind of want a little bit more, I think, or at least I did. I also gotta say, it wasn't as funny as I was hoping it would be. I mean, don't get me wrong, I chuckled pretty consistently throughout the movie, but there was never any moments that had me just like really audibly laughing, you know? Like, Booksmart had me laughing hysterically. This one just kind of had me going like, hey, yeah, you know. My fake laugh is atrocious, but just, you know what I'm saying. It was funny, but it didn't have like that next level hilarity. But like I said, it has these things to at least some capacity. It just doesn't have enough to really push it to that next tier, at least for me, if that makes any sense at all. All in all, this is a very fine coming-of-age movie. I'm gonna give Big Time Adolescence a B. Yep, we're back to the B's. The bigatory. It was kind of a nice break having a C+ last week, but you know, I'll take a B over that any day. I want to watch good movies. And I'm sure you do too while you're all cooped up at home, so I'd say give it a watch. But that's just me. What do you guys think? Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments below. And make sure you're subscribed to this channel to stay up to date on new reviews coming real soon. Thanks for checking in.